Yeah. Sorry, just broke some fucking eardrums right there. We're live. It's a beautiful Saturday out here in Thy Big Apple. I'm joined with two of my closest friends in the world after this weekend. Adam, Jameson. Jameson's our newest intern here at BDGE. Adam's representing Destination Debbie, 4D Chess. Very much into that dynasty game, South Harmon. What's going on, boys? Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? First time on the channel, I believe. We're going to be ripping through a Best Ball Mania draft today. $25 entry, so you guys better not fuck this up. A lot of money riding on the line.
A lot of money coming for Nick when we hit this. And
by the way, precursor, you got to sign an NDA afterwards. If we win this, you don't get anything.
Yeah, I was going to say then, all of a sudden we won't hear from him anymore. Our best friends all of a sudden no more.
Jameson, if we win this, I'll hire you full time. Appreciate it. A very minimal salary. Yeah, so you said this is your first Underdog draft of the summer.
Yeah, I've been doing a lot of content. Been pushing the Underdog platform, but have not actually done a draft. So excited to do this. I've watched a lot of content on it. Some of the Destination Debbie Ray's always talking about it.
It's hard not to. This Underdog's everywhere.
So I'm excited to do one, man.
Yeah, so we're doing the BBM4. For those of y'all that are not familiar, it's a $25 entry. It's 12 teams or 11 teams that you're drafting against, but you're playing. It's a tournament, so it's a guaranteed prize pool where the winner takes. I think this year is $3 million. The entire prize pool is $15 million by itself. So it's a crazy fucking pot. I believe you're fighting against 600,000 people or something like that. So the odds of winning. I mean, if the odds of winning for you guys minimal, I'm probably going to take this home. Based on the fact that I have your guys' help today. So we're shooting for upside here. We are shooting for a team that is both unique. We are shooting for a team that will hopefully pop off in the later rounds of the NFL season because there's like a playoff structure to it. And I believe the starting lineup is one quarterback, two running backs, three wide receivers, one tight end, and the rest are bench spots. It's 18 rounds, half PPR. What we're going to do is put the big board up for you guys, and then I think I'm going to draft via my phone, and we'll kind of talk through things so you guys can just see what's going on there. Let me know if anything's all fucked up in the stream because
We got the 10 spot.
that typically happens. Yeah, we're sitting at the 10 spot. You see Jefferson, Chase, and Tyreek Hill. People go crazy heavy on wide receivers in these drafts.
Yeah.
Jameson, don't feel bad about jumping in and interrupting me. And oh shit, okay. We got to go fanless. Sorry about the audio. We have a huge fan in the room because it's hot as shit right now. We're all sweating.
Nick and I just got done hooping not too long ago. So
yeah, we played a little bit of ball today. Jack Settleman's got a wonderful court on the rooftop of his apartment, so we balled for a little while, showered, and then ran right here. But it's warm in here. All right, so C-Mac goes off the board. That's the first running back. It looks like
the late round is when I'll step up.
Okay.
That's when we'll swing.
You just take a nap until like round 7, and we'll wake you up. We're 4 picks away. Kelsey, Diggs, Eckler, A.J. Brown are the first guys available on the list. Looks like we're going to get that second tier of wide receivers.
Yep.
Someone, Brown, Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, Devontae Adams, Nick Chubb. Any preferences there?
A.J. Brown, if he's here after this pick, would be my call.
Oh, you guys can see the big board, so you know.
What do you think?
Eckler. So we got Diggs and A.J. Brown both available to us.
Diggs and A.J. Brown are pretty close for me. I think I would go AJB, but
You'd go AJB?
yeah, I would go A.J. Brown.
All right. So I would take Diggs. You guys would both take Brown. Therefore, we'll compromise and we'll take Diggs.
I love it.
Okay, we'll take A.J. Brown there. Really, why AJB over Diggs? Are you nervous about like some of the weird reports, I guess, coming out of Buffalo with Diggs?
Not necessarily. I think he'll still be fine. I really believe A.J. Brown has. Now that Smith really opened up the offense at the end of last year, I feel like A.J. Brown isn't going to see a lot of that double coverage and has a chance to really eat in this offense.
Yeah, I think I am somewhat scared about the Buffalo thing. I don't think that he's going to sit out or anything. He's going to get traded, but I think they're also focusing on spreading the ball more in Buffalo. That's why they brought in Dalton Kincaid. Diggs really wants a D-hop. I think he's pushing 30. I don't think we'll get the same 1,230
Really?
production.
I feel like Diggs was kind of on pace. Let's make our pick real quick. And
Yeah.
We'll go back. All right, so we got Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon, and then it's like Olave and those guys. So I think Adams, Waddle, Taylor, Barkley are probably our best shots here.
I'm going to Waddle or running back.
You're Waddle over Adams?
Yeah.
I feel like here, because we're not going to come back for so long. I wouldn't mind taking Taylor and swinging for upside. And
you like Taylor over Barkley?
Barkley. The interesting part with Barkley is if he doesn't actually get a deal done, he may not have the incentive to really play all those extra games hard and like be healthy. And
I'm less concerned about Saquon. I think he gets a deal done with New York. I think they're both very incentivized to get something done because, like, I don't know. I think people are lumping in Saquon and Jacobs kind of together in the same conversation because they're both like holding out. But say they both become free agents, like who's more likely to get scooped up in a second?
Yeah, Barkley's different. Barkley's a different talent.
I feel like Jacobs has less leverage with the team, just based on his skill set.
Yeah, and he's outside of last year, which he went nuclear. He's had trouble staying in the field. Hasn't had nearly the upside that Barkley has.
Yeah,
I actually think Adams falling to 17 is like where he should be going. Like I'm not in on him at all with Jimmy Garoppolo, with Josh McDaniels. Nothing about me wants to really touch him this year. I mean, like it's mid-second round, I would have to jump on that, but I'm not touching him.
It kind of feels like if you're in the middle of the second there, like he's going to fall to you. He's going to be one of those guys that you don't necessarily want, but you're like, I can't let the value get past me. Those guys always end up being bad picks, man. And I've tried to steer away from those more in like redraft leagues, but I mean, he's Adams, and there's no question about the talent level still being there, which makes you feel confident enough that if you take him, like, you'll be fine with him on the team. But I'm scared about Jimmy G there too.
I think one point on Taylor I was going to make too is that when they get to Richardson, especially later in the year, the dual threat run of that offense may actually help Taylor really take off some crazy runs.
I guess I'm concerned on like two levels for Taylor. One is like their O-line is not really what it was,
It's not quite as elite.
We loved the Colts running backs for a while because we just it's like Quentin Nelson. Therefore, their entire line is a bunch of savages, but really hasn't been the case. It wasn't the case last year, at least. He had a down year. I don't think Nelson's going to have a down year again, but that scares me a little bit, as well as like pass catching. Taylor's never really had a ton of pass catching upside, but now you put a mobile quarterback there. I do like the point you made though, with like Richardson might not be the starter right away, but he'll be the starter the second half of the year, and we are looking for like huge upside towards the playoffs and stuff. So I can see them clicking. I'm not confident. I'm not as confident as like people in the fantasy industry thinking, because there's one report that's like, we want to get him on the field immediately. I'm like, yeah, but still.
Who's the other guy? Gardner?
Minshew. Mm-hmm. It could be one of those situations where Minshew starts 2 games. Just let him like, yeah.
Yep. They might. I think he'll eventually be the starter. I'm not sold he's week 1 starter, but he's eventually going to start.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to start games this year. I'd put the over/under on like starts for A-Rich at like 13.5 probably, and maybe even higher.
The other point why I like Taylor there, right? So we have a warp tool that basically wins over replacement player, and an Underdog, it's really, really steep, the wins over replacement for the elite assets at running back and receiver. Yeah. And I feel like here, not that Waddle could be, but I feel like you're kind of chasing at receiver, and you're not actually getting that crazy high upside. Like if Taylor pops off, I could see him being RB2, RB3. I don't know that those other receivers are going to have like top 5 upside, really.
We haven't seen drafts like this in years. You have to go all the way back to like 15, 16 when Devonta Freeman was the one, right? And his like RB1 overall year was like 18 points a game.
Right.
And that's what happened last year. If you look at like the fantasy points from running backs last year, the best one was whoever ended up Jacobs, yeah, he was like 18.6 points per game. Yep. That usually never happens. So everyone's like shifting over the wide receivers. You never get like in normal years, I feel like even like Pollard and Stevenson would be at that like 1-2 turn. Like people want workhorse running backs.
Yeah, and honestly, in this, because if you want to differentiate yourself, I think you kind of have to zig when everyone's zagging, right? Like that's one of the reasons I like the Taylor pick. It may not hit, but it's just my logic in it.
Well, damn, Jalen Hurts went early. So Jalen Hurts went at the was that the 210?
Yeah.
So you got the 210, and then Mahomes and Allen go. See, that's the kind of guy that people reach for in this kind of game because it's upside. So we're on the clock.
20 seconds.
We got Amari Cooper, Lamar Jackson, Keenan Allen, Najee Harris, Christian Watson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Travis Etienne.
I like Cooper probably, or taking. Oh man, we kind of missed the elite tiers of the tight end and the quarterback. So
we definitely did. I think. Are you down with Cooper? You like
Cooper? Keenan, definitely a receiver.
I feel a little bit better about Cooper.
I do too.
Yeah, just based on age and based on the fact that like they're. I mean that's probably not a great comparison given that there is, I guess, unknowns in the Cleveland offense. But like Quentin Johnson coming into the mix, like you never know how the targets are going to get mixed, but we also don't know what Deshaun Watson is.
And if Mike Williams stays healthy. The thing about Cooper that I'm excited about anyway, I'm a Browns fan obviously, but last year with Jacoby Brissett, he was like wide receiver 11-ish.
Yeah.
Now you get a full season with Watson.
It's so annoying when people are like, oh, you only do that with Brissett. I'm like you're not really sitting here being like Brissett's a better fucking quarterback than Deshaun Watson. Like, use a little bit of common sense, dude.
Sometimes the hate on Watson's a little strong.
Crazy.
CJ Moore.
Coop, L. Jax, DJ. Oh, Fields is sitting there. I forgot about him. It's kind of crazy how he's falling here, too. It feels like we're getting second redemption at Jalen Hurts again, and people like still don't learn their lesson on him.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Keenan's going to be available there. Najee, Christian Watson, Gibbs, Etienne, Judy, London, Terry. I think we could definitely sit on tight end. Like, we can grab Kittle in like the 5th, 6th, I think. I'm kind of down with that strategy. There goes Keenan. So it's Watson, Judy, London, Terry, or Najee, Gibbs, Etienne, Mixon, Walker. You're kind of pick up running backs. QBs, Burrow, Herbert.
If you're going for the upside, it would probably be Watson, probably the highest, but definitely the riskiest.
Burrow?
Yeah, you know what? Let's lean away from the clickbait and just take high upside dudes. I forgot the title of this video was just only drafting the highest of upside dudes, and I think we're kind of there. C-Watt, what are you guys feeling on C-Watt this year?
Well, I feel like it's very boom bust, and it's a lot about Jordan Love. I'm personally nervous about Jordan Love, but I do think he's had enough time, and they've given him the reins. If he can throw it deep and hit him in stride, because he's such a deep threat, he could end up being really, really good.
You got a strong take, Jamo?
I'm curious if they'll make him somewhat of a gadget guy. I felt like he did a lot of end arounds and jet sweeps last year, and with deep potential. But I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, none of us know the future of Jordan Love. I like Jordan Love, but to say he's going to be able to do what Aaron Rodgers did is just crazy.
Yeah, did you watch Watson play at all in college?
Actually, just filmed and North Coast State.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they did end arounds because he would like routinely take 60-yard end arounds to the fucking crib in college. So I'm glad that they actually like transferred that into real life. I guess the other thing with like Green Bay is, I don't know. You could talk yourself into saying they have a lot of like weapons there, but they have nothing proven behind Christian Watson.
Well, and the one thing, like in best ball especially, right? I play a ton of dynasty best ball, and in best ball, if you think about it, right, you have A.J. Brown and Amari Cooper as more of your solid floor guys. I think Watson will be more boom bust, but still has boom potential. So that's really nice in this format.
Watson feels like a Walmart A.J. Brown.
There you go.
You know, and I love Walmart.
I mean, I love Walmart
Matt
too.
LaFleur scares me. I feel like he's more safe than the rest of the team.
So I guess the one thing I get with that point.
Oh, got it. Yeah.
The one thing I will say with that is like they've been a really slow offense, like pace wise, and that works when you have an efficient ass quarterback like Aaron Rodgers. But I wonder if they speed up the pace there because if they go slow and Jordan Love is like inefficient, that offense is going to have a problem.
That's my fear, and then also trying to speed it up with a first-time starter is also dangerous.
Yeah. They probably don't put that much on his plate. Damn, we done fucked up, boys.
I mean, Nicholas is
we're playing for the championship weekend.
Nick told me he's not cutting me in on the money anyway, so you might as well
You guys are feeding me fucking false bullshit information. Also, if you guys are new to Underdog, you haven't been on Underdog before, we do drafts all the time with people in our Discord, which is also free to join. So you can join the Discord down below, one of the links, and we drop invites into the Discord for you guys to draft with us, against us, on stream, off stream, whatever, all the time. Make sure you use the promo code BDGE. If it's your first time depositing on there, they will double whatever you throw down there. Okay, so if you put down 10, you'll have 20 to play with, 40, you'll have 80 to play with, all the way up to $100. This is definitely the best way to prep for like your fantasy drafts coming up end of August, early September. So you'll understand like the trends of where you can reach for players in different positions and stuff like that. So come draft against us, draft against your homies, get them on here, share the links with them. And every draft is paid for, which is why the ADP is so, honestly, it's like obnoxiously sharp on Underdog.
Yeah.
Because you're putting at least $3 down to play. End of the year, if you win, come back, just collect your money, put it back into some fucking NBA lines in the off season. We all win. We're all winners here, except for our team.
Everyone's playing for second. We got first locked up.
Oh,
Facts.
4 rounds in. The
Second is still $1 million prize, I'm pretty sure, in this tournament.
The other thing too is, especially because this is a high upside draft, I think you can start to, even like for Dynasty, like I do a lot of Dynasty, you can start to see trends in where the community's valuing players for this season here early and get ahead of that.
Very true. Yeah, because, a lot of redraft analysis ends up being Dynasty analysis. It's like redraft and then just put like a little twang of like, let's value youth a little bit more, and that's like what ADP becomes.
And that's in this time of year where you can, exploit just because you're playing year over year, but at the end of the day, every season is really redraft.
Okay, so we are 4 picks away.
Oh man,
And I
was
almost
hoping
don't-
Brandon Ayuk was there.
Well, here's the thing. There you go. Quick Kittle went off, but I don't want to say it out loud. I don't want to jinx it. Actually, is this too early?
K. Craven, don't
I wonder
take
if
him.
we're thinking of the same one.
You got to tell us who it is.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I can't do it yet.
I wonder.
It's if we take him, it would be like 20 spots above his ADP, but he's the next available player.
Well,
at his
then we can
position.
at least get him on the
So-
way back,
Were you
probably.
thinking-
Deshaun Watson is available right now. We
I
can
don't-
stack with
I
Cooper.
don't know if it's worth.
I do like that stack.
But we have Kenneth
do you think
Walker,
you can get
Dobbins, Madison, Miles
do you
Sanders,
think we can get
Akers.
Watson on the turn.
We might be able to. You're right. All those teams in between us have QBs.
Um,
Godwin is available.
No.
Walker,
K9?
Dobbins. What?
K9. Walker.
K9, Dobbins, Madison, Sanders, Akers.
I like Dobbins.
You like Dobbins over Godwin?
Yes.
Ooh, okay. Oh, what the fuck?
No!
Oh, dude,
By the skin of our teeth.
I accidentally somehow I didn't even go to the tight end position. Dalton Schultz was the top of our fucking
Could you
queue,
imagine?
and last second I
Over
unchecked his
TJ
ass.
Hawkinson, that would have been awful.
Oh my god! I mean, yeah, he's not even on my fucking board at this point. Okay, thank God. I
CJ
really
Stroud
like
would have to
Dobbins
just
too this
pepper
year.
him to have any chance of that being worth anything. Yeah, I like Dobbins. A year off of the injury, year removed from that pretty rough one, and with Lamar having the bag, and I think there's going to be a different offense this year.
Do you? There's part of me that like wants to believe that, and there's part of me that's like, it's still Lamar Jackson running the offense. Like they're still gonna fucking throw the ball 420 times and run the ball 8,000 times. You know?
Yeah, I think Dobbins is also going to benefit from a lot of touches. He may never be the guy that gets 20, but I think 15 on super efficiency and high touchdown upside with his speed.
That's fair. You got to look at like the end of his rookie year. Yeah, the end of his rookie year, he ripped off 8 touchdowns in 8 games. You know?
He's one of those that's liable. If he gets outside, he could be gone.
All right.
I told you, Watson's back.
Do we want to? We can go Watson here, stack him with Cooper. I think that's like a high upside pick for sure. So you don't like Godwin?
No, I don't like that offense at all. Baker's terrible. I don't trust Trask. I think in this tournament, you don't want a lot of floor. You want a lot of ceiling.
That's fair.
To me, I'll go Watson. What are the other receivers out there?
The other receivers are Marquise Brown, Lockett, Pittman, Evans. No real like upside, in my opinion.
I'm taking Watson.
Yeah, we'll take Watson. It's crazy because like he was the top of the list, and his normal ADP is 84 overall, and we're at pick 63. That's just the way these tournaments go. But Watson's super high upside, so I'm okay with that. We've got like a nice build so far.
I like what you're doing, too. We got a little Cleveland love in here.
Mm-hmm. I like
Herbert
him. I like
and
him.
Lawrence never go back to back like that. I feel like
Who's that?
Herbert and Lawrence back to back picks at 49-50.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Look, they both, on the turn, they both stacked. Smart.
Mm. Stack action, strong.
He's got Ridley too. He's got Curtis.
Damn, like that's crazy. Like Jahan Dotson over Kenneth Walker, and the dudes that are available right now.
I mean, I think what you're going to start seeing, and why I didn't want to take a receiver here, is this becomes like preference and probably a lot of reaching at receiver now.
Yeah, it is just by like the lack of
I'm
lack of options.
I mean, I like Dotson as a dynasty asset, but this is shocking to see him go this early in basketball for redraft.
Got a pretty good stack. I like what we got.
How would you grade our team, Jameson? On a scale of A+ to 55.
I'll say gentleman's B.
Gentleman's B. Doesn't feel good.
That'll get us in playoffs. We just got to get in.
I actually do like our team so far. I'm fine taking a QB in like the 5th, 6th round.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when it's Deshaun Watson.
It's like do you guys have any strong feelings about like the next tier of tight ends? Because all the top guys are obviously off. I really like Goddard. I feel like he's consistent as shit. But after Goddard, it's like Waller, Ingram, Njoku, Pat, Freiermuth, and like you could like those guys, but I don't have a strong take on any of them.
I'll tell you what I think at this point, personally. Again, looking at like wins over replacement, you kind of miss the tight end upside, I think. And instead of chasing a little bit to not ever have the upside of these other tight ends, you're almost better off stacking everything else and just throwing 2 or 3 bodies at the end.
That's kind of what I like doing in these best ball drafts because it's like as long as you get 3 starters or something, you're just kind of hoping for 20 yards and a touchdown out of one of the 3 guys and our top 12 tight end for that week.
It's one of the total.
You don't have to choose.
In best ball and lineup, like the way they're different. In best ball, you can literally just have 3, 4, 5 if it's in dynasty, like 30 roster spots. Middle of the road tight ends, and just one of them every week pops off. Whereas in lineup, like setting which one of those guys is going to be a starter is a totally different animal.
Yo, talk more about Dynasty Best Ball, because like a couple years ago when I first heard about it, my mind was like, that's the dumbest shit I ever heard. Like, I love maintaining a roster in Dynasty,
Yep.
but the more I play this stuff, I'm like, that actually sounds kind of cool. What platform do you play that on?
Sleeper, primarily. Some MFL.
Edit that out, producer.
What's that?
Okay.
I was Sleeper primarily. Yeah. The best ball thing was really cool. I was kind of indifferent on it at first. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this. It's a totally different strategy, and what it does do, I think, is it gives value to players that you otherwise would not really care about in lineup leagues. So, for example, if it's a lineup start 9, Jahan Dotson, right? Like, he's probably teetering on, do you really care about him, and are you ever going to start him consistently? Best ball, you stack up Dotson and Quentin Johnson and even guys way deeper, you can totally roster build different. And it's also nice if you play in multiple leagues that you don't have to set, like, 5, 10 lineups on Sunday morning. Like, which one of these guys do I want to start?
I can't, like, move myself to play only best ball. Hold on. We're almost on the clock. All right. So, Goddard's off the board right now. Definitely not going QB. DeAndre Swift, Rashad White, James Conner, Dalvin Cook, Javonte Williams, Brandon Cooks, Elijah Moore, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, Michael Thomas. How do you feel about Elijah Moore?
Really good stack.
Given that we have a lot of Cleveland already, like 7th round feels really fucking gross for him, to be honest.
I think we could get him in 8, though, if you want to do it, and I would take Swift here, personally. But you guys do.
Okay.
That's my personal preference.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, I just am very weary about that whole Philly situation at the running back position, as I feel like pretty much everybody is. But
I think Swift, though, the thing about him is at this value, we've seen him be injury-prone and frustrating. But in best ball especially, like, let's say he ends up being healthy for 12 weeks even. He could totally matter in that offense with high upside.
Yeah. I guess my only issue is that, like, what's his best attribute? Pass catching.
That's good, sure.
Yeah, like Jalen Hurts don't really dump the ball off much.
No. But he's never really played with a rushing quarterback that's going to open up different lanes for a guy like him to get through.
No doubt. He could be cool. He could be a dude who rips off like 8 touchdowns in fucking 10 games or something like that. I could see him being a high powered.
In this late, I'm in, like, I've been a Swift truther, and now I'm kind of cool on him. But this late, I think there's upside there. Oh, my gosh. That's on me, man. I did not think that would happen.
All right, that's fine. Fuck him.
That's kind of crazy.
So I think we probably hit another wide receiver here. It's Cooks, Bateman, Zay Flowers, Michael Thomas, Courtland Sutton, Jameson Williams, and there goes Zay Flowers. You like Cooks?
I do. I like Cooks quite a bit. I think that offense, and Cooks is going to step into the old Amari role where I think he's going to get a lot less focus, and he's coming off his worst year.
Cooks is good, but
Cooks,
highest
Bateman,
upside has got to be MT.
No way. I won't allow that. He's Cooked.
I don't like Bateman. Anyone but Bateman.
I'm good on Cooks over Bateman.
We'll go Cooks there. We'll go Cooks here. MT. I mean, we're just chasing the prime at this point. I don't even think he's the same player anymore. Like, I'd be surprised. His separation, I feel like, is probably not there anymore.
Nope.
Olave, I think, is going to take over as well. I think MT could be like fine, but I feel like if you're chasing like a 1,300-yard, 10-touchdown season, I feel like that's crazy.
No, he's got a big frame though. I feel like they could almost transition him to just almost be Derek Carr's jump ball guy, which I know that's not his specialty, but that's kind of what he's gonna need at this point.
Yeah, maybe like a late career Larry Fitz, where he was like 12 years into his career, and then all of a sudden he had those like 100 catch seasons in a row for the Cardinals. It was like a dynamite for fantasy. I guess
that's a really good comp. To me, it's more so like you're also relying on him to be. Or can we rely on him to be reliable? I mean, how many years is it just not?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, eventually it's just like, all right, this is just what he is.
Right.
I don't want to be the guy that does it.
You like Rashad White?
I am.
He's gone now. But...
Hold on, sorry. I want to make sure we're right.
Anything in Tampa is definitely risky to take, but
I think the audio's still good. Let us know if the audio's whack right now. I'm just checking the comments right now. Sorry. Sorry, what were you saying?
Rashad White. What do you think?
I'm kind of off on him. I really liked him as a prospect, but like my whole thing was very much that he's like a super raw runner, right? They went to JUCO, and then he was like good on the ground, but his best attribute was like being an athlete. I think they'll probably let him do that, but he's just like really. I just don't see a world where they let him be like the workhorse. I just don't see a world where he's actually getting like 250 carries. You know, I think like where he's going is right, but I think projecting him to be a 350, a 325 touch guy, and the offense is like terrible and just all the above. I'm a little bit cooler on him.
I'm with you. I don't think any of the guys in that range really have workhorse upside outside of grossly Connor if he stays healthy. But if Rashad White, if you think he's going to be getting even more touches and be really efficient, I don't see him being efficient and upside for a tournament like this on that offense. I'm very leery of that offense as a whole with Baker or Trask. I just don't trust it, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of in on Godwin and Evans both at their price, to be honest. I feel like I like Baker enough that if it's a wildly like condensed offense, which I think it will end up being, then those guys will combine for like a 55% target share. And I don't know. I look at like Baker, the success he had with Jarvis Landry in Cleveland. I feel like Godwin's kind of similar to that, and Evans just is who he is at this point.
Yeah,
kind of expect.
I like Evans over Godwin, to be honest.
Straight up.
Because this isn't like a great fantasy football strategy, but like looking at his like projections for the season, like Vegas still has him at like 7 touchdowns, 950 yards. That's like what he always does.
Yeah.
So it's like
that feels pretty ambitious.
I've split his numbers up between Brady and before Brady, and I know that's primarily Winston, but he also had his rookie year. There's like not a big difference in receptions, yards, targets. It's all very similar, and I get age as a factor, but I think where he's going is still going to produce.
To me, last year, as the end of their season was very telling as a team. Like, that offense really, really struggled to move the ball at all. And that was with Tom Brady. Even if it's not the GOAT Tom Brady, I mean, you're talking about Baker taking over that offense. I don't hate Baker. I just don't see it as a high upside offense, really.
No, that's super fair. I don't know. There's been the comps like how the Tampa Bay is this year's like Seattle, where like going into last year, you're like, oh, Geno Smith, Drew Lock are just absolutely ruining Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. And it's like
Seattle's coordinator,
two proven veterans. Do they?
I think so.
Oh, interesting.
The QB coaches are OC now.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of witchcraft he did on Geno.
I feel like Dak's not a bad pick here this late.
Dak?
Yeah, I don't mind it.
All right, so Sutton, Juju, Odell, Zay Jones, Romeo Dobbs. Tight end, we got Pat Fryermuth, Chiggy, Kincaid. Running back, Javonte Williams. Kamara is available there, man.
Are we worried about, like, I haven't heard any news. Are we worried about suspension at all, or is that not even going to happen?
That's Kamara.
I mean, you kind of have to be worried about it, but I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
One of the things I've learned in doing
I like Javonte as a player. I don't like him this year coming off that injury.
Yeah, I'm out on him for sure.
I don't mind Kamara here at all. I think Kamara has upside enough.
I'll take Kamara for
9th round, I'm good.
Lucky. All right, let's talk next pick then already.
Let's do it.
Clock soon. All right, so we've got a QB.
I was thinking, like, we were considering, like, we said Sutton's name at Brandon Cooks. Like, if he falls, hold 2 more rounds.
We saw Sutton. You like Sutton?
I like him, but we were considering him around the Brandon Cooks range. I just think as far as value goes, and
I wasn't considering.
he had more. No.
Yes.
Do you think Russ is going to cook this year?
I think so. He had more targets than Judy last year. I think Judy did miss one more game.
Yeah.
But still, the fact that they're on the same page.
Are we going too far off the spectrum? It's like I liked him so much going into last year that he was so bad that I'm like, he's just shot.
10th round, there's worse picks to make in the 10th round. I don't know how Mims will play into the offense.
That's super fair. I don't think I've taken a single share of.
What else is available?
Juju, Odell, Zay Jones. Running back is Javonte, Penny, Harris, A-Chain. Tight end is Chiggy, Kincaid.
What do we have further down at receiver? I feel like it's getting gross, but we need to stack a few more receivers.
Romeo Dobbs. We could go Dobbs and then grab Jordan Love if he's still available, like later.
How do we feel about Jaden Reed coming over there?
I like Jaden Reed a lot. I don't think we should take Dobbs over Portland Sutton.
I think I'd go Sutton over Dobbs personally.
Yeah,
I'm good either way this
I would
late.
rather stack a Russ over Love and Dobbs.
That's fair. Getting too much in my fucking head now.
Let's go Sutton. I like what the intern's doing. He's bullying Nick on stream, saying we're taking Sutton.
It's fine.
I love
That's
this.
the way I like it.
Yeah, I actually
It's a kink of mine.
I don't mind that take though. I've kind of been cool on Sutton this year too. I think that at a certain price, like there was an upside last year we thought, and it just was not. But
Yeah.
Russ was also injured and played terrible.
You're Mike 2, right?
I don't know why.
Skirt.
Check 1, 2. Check.
Oh, is your mic not on?
It's not on. There's nothing coming out of there.
What the fuck?
Button up.
Didn't you try before?
Yeah, I thought I was 4. Check 1, 2. Check.
Put it down. The mic. The button. Now do it. No. Put it down.
Hold it.
Then do it. Now talk. No. Put it down. Now talk.
Check. Check 1 2.
Into the mic.
Check. Check 1 2.
Damn, your shit has been off this whole time, huh?
Unfortunate.
It's tough. Sorry, guys. Hold on.
Now it's on.
Ready?
Am I 2 now? Am I supposed to be 2?
Yeah, you're 2.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah, it's working.
Yeah. He's on.
Yo.
Check.
Scream.
Check!
There we go. All right. Intern things.
Sorry, at the beginning when they didn't hear me, I said,
Anyways, you did say to wake you up in the later
Yeah.
rounds. Now we're in double-digit rounds. It's time to cook.
I love this.
I already started with Sutton.
Yeah. You started. You got on your bullshit with Sutton.
This late, man, I was actually wondering if A-Chain would make it back around. Like chasing home run ability.
Yeah, that's super fair. I'm just like, it's crazy. We just have no fucking idea how that backfield is going to play
Zero.
out.
But what I do think is, being the Shanahan offense, they run that zone read. It's a guy like A-Chain just hits a hole. He could even have 10 touches a game, but a few games in baseball, he hits a hole and it's gone. Could
Yeah.
totally matter.
Yeah, he's like a 10-year younger version of Mostert. I've been taking a bunch of Jeff Wilson for the fact that, like, there's no chance they use A-Chain or Mostert on the goal line, right?
No.
I believe they're going to be a really good offense.
Mostert would probably be the guy on the goal line if Wilson was hurt, but I agree.
Right.
I think he could be definitely all the
Like,
goal
Jeff
line.
Wilson could have, like, 600 rushing yards this year, like, maybe max, but also finish with, like, 8 or 9 rushing touchdowns.
Do you think they'd consider cutting one of them?
I don't.
I wouldn't be shocked. That's, like, one of those things that, like, people in fantasy would be way more shocked than probably real-life NFL people.
I'll tell you why not, and this is what I was going to say about Jeff Wilson. Running backs right now, like the volatility of their NFL careers, like look at what's happened with Barkley and Jacobs. How often is a guy like Jeff Wilson, who's kind of a journeyman, been on the same like scheme his whole career essentially?
Yeah.
They really are comfortable with him and Mostert, I think. So unless they're totally cooked, one of them, I think they're around. Just a comfortability thing, and they have way too much investment in A-Chain to cut in.
Oh, no.
What?
Bruh.
What? What happened?
Hello. Welcome to the chat. We've been
Muted?
no, we haven't been muted, but we've been broadcasting into the MacBook.
Good God.
You know what it was? Because I never use Ecamm, so I didn't set up the fucking audio beforehand. We're here, baby.
So involved in someone muted?
It's just bad audio because it's,
It's just going
coming
into
from
there.
there.
That's why. The
And no
fan,
wonder the fan was
that's
killing
why
us.
the fan was getting picked up. God damn.
Wow. How many minutes are we in? If you stuck with us, we love you.
We got like 130, 40 people in here.
Dude, that's so funny.
Jeez.
Oh, man. The audio quality coming out of these versus that MacBook
I'm
is
so
insane.
sorry. Wait, okay, so now talk.
How about,
Check 1 2.
Why is yours off again?
is mine good?
This keeps coming loose.
I don't see anything happening on mine. Is mine good?
You're good.
Okay, cool.
You're 4.
All
All right. Is it crazy to do the rust stack here?
We haven't even looked at the
shit.
board.
No.
23 seconds. We're all right.
Hold up.
Yeah.
I'm in the stream. I'm in the trenches. All right. That's probably our best bet right now. We can go with the tight end. It's Dulcich, Schultz, Higbee, Komet. That's disgusting.
No, thank
Rondell
you.
Moore, Van Jefferson, Jonathan Mingo. Jared Goff and Russell Wilson are the next 2 on the board.
I think you could take Russ and be done with QB, and then you just start stacking
Maybe we
receivers.
take
and a
Russ
couple-
and be done with this stream.
There we go. I'm surprised people aren't done with us
The
yet.
fact that people have been listening through that shit is pretty incredible.
Dude,
Only one
that's-
thumbs down. You guys are real. Can you guys hear the fan now? We plugged the good mics in and now have the fan running.
How many QBs do you really
rock with in baseball?
You can only roster. This is 18 rounds, correct?
18. I typically go 2. I'll go 2 unless
You totally back. They're all back end ones.
yeah, I usually don't do that strategy. I like going 3 tight ends though.
I get that. I think what I typically have done in these is if my tight ends are coming earlier, I go 2 and 3, and then vice versa. But I like to have 2 quarterbacks and 3 of the
done that.
backfield tight ends.
The only reason why I'll go 3 tight ends. All right, yeah, we're on the clock. Van Jeff, Mingo, Thielen, Rashi Rice, Osborne, Alec Pierce, Jalen Warren, Kendra Miller, Tank Bigsby. Roshan.
I like one of those 3.
I like Kendra.
We did take Kamara. What do you think about that strategy?
I like Kendra.
I actually did. Okay, so I think this is a good spot. I think the last stream I just did, I actually took Kamara and Kendra Miller. I took Kendra. I put him in the queue.
Nice. Okay.
I took Kamara and Kendra together in an underdog draft. That was just a $3 12-man league. I think this actually is cool. There's probably nobody taking both Kamara and Miller.
Yeah, no.
Here and this, I love it. Except
we need the uniqueness.
Yeah, and last year Jamal Williams killed all of DeAndre Swift. If Jamal Williams ends up being the guy, that just is
no
insane.
fucking chance. Not with Kamara and.
It is interesting though. Jamal Williams went ahead of Kendra here. I would have not expected that in best ball like this.
Why did they even sign him? Like
Jamal.
Yeah.
They just like having a big body thumper.
Plus, you got to remember then,
They're
there's
like Detroit.
uncertainty with Kamara. They want bodies for whatever that could be.
Yeah.
That could be 6 games.
What do you think about Rashee Rice?
When I watched him play, when I watched college, like my first comp were like those dudes. Like when I watch Pickens play, you know, I feel like people are like overly infatuated with him. He kind of seemed like a Mike Williams type, where like he's gonna make good, awesome plays like on the boundary, but that's probably what he is, in my opinion. That's kind of how I got from Rashee Rice. Like he does some things like awesome, right? Like outside boundaries, he makes really cool like toe tap catches and shit, strong hands. Yeah. But like he's not doesn't really feel like a separator, like a real like all around type of wide receiver.
Is there anyone on the Chiefs you kind of prefer?
On price, I like Sky Moore. I think I still think he's like a good route runner and a good separator. I think that typically like plays itself out over the long run. The problem with Tony is like, especially in a league like this, like where did he go?
He was pretty early.
75.
Yeah, 703. So like 703 for Tony feels, I don't know, dude.
I have a hard time really buying. Now, Juju leaving makes it interesting because there's targets, but like, I mean, it's so hard to peg who it's going to be. I'll tell you who I really like towards the very end is MVS.
I have a hard time getting on it. He's just had so many chances to be the guy there. Like last year would have been, if he was any good, I feel like Tyreek Hill gone, like he could have got it done last year.
Don't get it twisted. I don't expect him to be the like wide receiver one.
You do. You said
I love that.
That's
but
what you said.
Like the last round, I think he could give you 3 spike weeks where
That's
he is
fair.
a
For
top
best ball.
5 receiver.
Okay.
That's my thinking.
I do think someone will emerge. Like they've been trying the past 2 years to get someone in there.
That's what I mean. Like someone should, if someone was gonna do it, they would have fucking stepped
but
up.
I think one of those 4 will
Maybe
be the guy that's here between KT, Moore, and Rashee.
I don't even know. It's like
I
they just
think-
won the Super Bowl without having a guy.
That's what I was just going to say. Think about what happened there. They had Tyreek Hill leave, and Patrick Mahomes had his greatest season ever.
And so did Tyreek Hill.
Correct.
Which is great.
So, but what that really does is show you that Patrick Mahomes can just throw it to whoever. And I think as long as Kelsey's still elite, I don't know that one person becomes that relevant at the receiver position there.
No, that's I agree to it. This could be another situation where we're like just disappointed. It could be 5 guys that all have 700 yards, and you're like, fuck.
Which is why I say MVS there. He just went because the thing with him is like probably the lowest cost guy and may have the most upside on a week-to-week basis.
All right,
my take it.
Either way, we got to move elsewhere.
We're out. What do we got, man?
I've got to move. Oh no, we didn't get fucking Watson. I was gonna say because DPJ is available.
We did get Watson.
Did
Watson and Russ.
Sean?
Oh, we did. Okay, I mean we can go. Oh, we didn't get Elijah Moore.
Yes.
We can grab Donovan Peoples-Jones.
I don't mind it. If Elijah Moore ends up not firing.
Okay, so I think we have a choice here. Alec Pierce, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rashid Shaheed. I think those are like 3 boomer bust high upside dudes who will just catch long passes.
DPJ, because I think Watson has the best. It's the best quarterback.
I like that.
And you stack it. Yep.
I think we probably got to
tight
grab.
end.
We probably got to move to tight end soon. There's
we got 4 more rounds. The tight ends are like how gross are all the
we
tight
got 5
ends?
more
5
rounds.
more
And
rounds.
we're only at tight end 13. Like Greg Dulcich is the next guy off. He's tight end 13. So we can
Stack him
Gerald
again.
Everett's the next one. We could go with Dulcich fucking
Just
Wilson
all
stack.
in.
Yeah. That makes me a little bit nervous. Do you guys like Dulcich? You like him?
I'm kind of cool on him, honestly.
I'm not. Yeah, he doesn't like excite me realistically.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, we're back on the clock.
Ever since Jimmy Graham, like Sean Payton's never had a tight end where he's like, that's
Do you want to go Gerald Everett?
I think he
Gerald Everett,
in that
Sam
off.
Laporta, Jawan Johnson, Dawson Knox, Mike Gesicki.
I think if we're gonna take tight end here, it'd be Everett for me.
All right, I'm down with it.
You like Jawan.
I like Jawan a lot. Too.
Jawan
I think
had
we could probably get him later though.
Yeah, Juwan had that touchdown upside. He was sneaky in best ball last year.
Dude, do you not like? He's sneaky, athletic as fuck.
He's he's a converted receiver.
4.58. 4.58.
He's a converted receiver, which in best ball, like those types late are the ones you want to target.
I was so sure. I didn't really realize it. I knew he was scoring a bunch of touchdowns last year, but when I started doing research like this offseason, I was expecting to see like based on just the red zone usage, I thought I was going to see like a player profiler type build of like like a Jelani Woods or like a Donald Parham, where you're just like a tree, you know. But
I was actually really excited for him. Like Troutman not firing at all, I think opened it up for him. But then the one thing I think that is there this year, a really great story with Foster Moreau actually being able to play, could kind of cap his upside
a little bit, yeah. But I would say, going on to Dulcich, the reason that I'm like a little bit nervous about him is Sean Payton moves to Denver, and the first move he makes is moving Adam Troutman over to Denver.
And what happened with Dulcich is a new coach. They drafted Dulcich, which Alberto people were excited about, and all of a sudden he wasn't around. A lot of times it could be the coaching
Alberto,
staff.
the fucking saddest story ever told.
Dude, his ADP was skying last year.
He got like to tight end 9.
And then he wasn't even playing. Like, what a bad investment.
I went into a dynasty league last year where he was like my tight end 1. So tough.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was excited for Alberto, and that was a
I mean it was hard not to be excited about him.
What about Tim Patrick? He just went.
Yo, TP, I genuinely believe in my heart of hearts he would have been the wide receiver 1 in Denver last year.
Are you guys buying this hype of like, you know, them sitting courtside together, Russ being really in on him, like as
I think everything you hear from that locker room is like how TP's the guy.
Denver?
Yeah, I met him at a bar in Denver. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, he walked in. I don't know how I didn't recognize him, but like, dude, like big black Jack dude walks in, and I'm like, oh, gotta be an because people started coming up to him and be like, yo, can we get a picture? And this is like a local Denver bar, so like obviously the people there know him, and I'm like, man, I can't put a face to the name. And to be honest, like he wasn't like overly big. I feel like he's listed at like fucking 6'4". Like I'm like, I don't know if he's really that big.
Really?
You could tell he's got an athlete build though, you know, like you knew some shit was cooking there. And then eventually I was like, I kind of put 2 and 2 together. My sister went up and was like, oh, I love your, like, he had like a graphic t-shirt on and she like wanted to figure out where it was from. So she went up and said, what's up?
That's cool.
And they chatted for a second. Yeah, but really nice guy. I think he's like one of the better players on that team, honestly. Yeah. But I'm nervous about, you know, he's 1 year removed from the ACL, which is like, you know, momentum's kind of a big deal here.
So here's, I don't mind it, but a genuine question. So we would stack Sutton and Tim Patrick, and then I feel like we're kind of reliant on like Russ actually bouncing.
We're
back.
all laying on the Broncos.
Well, that's the thing about these fucking tournaments is like you gotta
make
your mark and like
if you take an L, you take an L, but you try to differentiate yourself.
It's the way you gotta look. It's almost like every pick you make, you have to assume that best case scenario happens. So it's like play that out in your head. You know?
Yo, are you guys buying this Puka Nacua stuff?
I like him.
Okay, this feels insanely high.
Yeah, I was liking him in the last 2 rounds, but
yeah, I'm not trying to get him there, but he's got a good build. He's like kind of like a Cooper Kupp reincarnated when it comes to like his play style.
Yeah,
I like him. All right,
Jaden Reed.
So we got 2 QBs, we got 5 running backs, we got 6 wide receivers and a tight end. We can grab another tight end.
I think we probably go 2 or 3 tight ends, and the rest is running back or receiver.
Jawan, if he's still there.
Okay. I'm gonna make an executive decision as long as this pick does not happen here. So it's like Isaiah Hodgins, Paris Campbell. We got our pick of like Giants wide receivers, John Mechie, Khalil Shakir. I'm taking Zeke here. I am like in a very small minority of people that think Zeke's got juice left, and he's gonna land. He's either gonna come back to Dallas or he's gonna land on a contender. And I guarantee you, he's gonna have like an 8 to 10 week period throughout the season where he's like a solid RB2 for fantasy.
Yeah.
What? It's interesting because I really don't mind that take at all because, one, he's not going to do camp this year, right? He's going to be able to stay fresh if that exists for him. But then the other thing is if he can pick a situation.
Fresh in the way that we just like showered and then walked to the subway and needed another shower.
And then
so technically he's fresh, but.
Yeah, it's fresh for Zeke.
He should go to L.A.
But I think what the thing is he can pick.
Oh, Chargers. Oh, they meant Rams. I was like, sir.
There's 2 things about this. One, there's just so much attrition typically at the running back position. He can pick his spot where there's maybe an opening. And then if it's a good offense, we already know he's very good on the goal line, even at this washed Zeke version. So if there's attrition at the running back position and he has weeks where he has 2-3 touchdowns, this late, I don't mind it.
Yeah. I've been trying to grab Zeke in like the last few rounds. And in like normal drafts where it's not like tournament, you could usually get him 16, 17, 18th. And I'm like, I'll grab that over fucking like Chase Brown and Ty Chandler all fucking day.
What about the other floaters like Kareem and Lenny?
I'm out on those guys. I feel like they showed enough to me that I just feel like they're cooked.
I'm very strong. I have a very strong take on Uncle Lenny. So this guy, when Tom Brady was there.
Hold on, let's make this pick.
Let's do it. Yeah, don't worry. My Uncle Lenny hate won't go.
We got 6 running backs, so we're definitely going to cap there.
Okay.
So I kind of feel like it's all ugly. All right, so we got Mechie. Actually, you know what? Here, you guys just look at the list there.
I got you.
Juwan still there?
Tight end? Nah, definitely not. He went 167.
Yeah.
You guys are on the clock, so you just make the pick.
Robert Woods, Devontae Parker, Jalen Hyatt. I don't mind.
I feel like they're trying to move him. No, like I feel like they got no faith left in his ass.
I feel like it's Mechie. I don't know.
I'm out on Mechie.
I like Hyatt as a best ball dart this late, like a couple long touchdowns.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I think this late you're definitely shooting for upside. Jalen Hyatt could be a total miss, but
I'm not as kind of in on him.
I just think I think most of the guys that we were looking at in that range though don't really provide
it's just
upside.
Disgusting down there. Yeah, we probably should have taken Isaiah.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
We do need to get at least one more tight end, if not two.
Ends, yeah, for sure.
So Leonard Fournette, this guy, when Tom Brady was there, who runs a very tight ship. I mean, remember how heavy he was? He came in overweight.
Yeah, Lenny.
So now you're telling me he's not going to have an offseason to try to keep himself in shape. By the time he even gets somewhere, is he in enough shape to be worthy of
listen? If you're like 29, 30 out of shape, you're not like recapturing your prime. Lenny's cooked. He's done.
I'm not Lenny. I'm not in on it at all.
I genuinely think Zeke showed juice last year still. Like, he wasn't Tony Pollard, obviously, but he was fine. He was good.
Not many people are Tony Pollard, really, anymore.
That's fair.
Okay, I think Zeke should go to the Chargers with Kellen Moore going there, too, now.
That would be kind of cool.
That's not bad. I don't mind that.
I don't know how often that actually happens, though, in, like, a offensive coordinator or coach leaves and they pull someone from their old team. Like, it always sounds good in theory, but I don't know how many times it's actually worked out.
Nothing that ever sounds good on paper happens in real life with the NFL.
That's actually pretty true.
Like with the Chargers, Brandon Staley came from the Bears and he traded for Khalil Mack. Like that just
it's just like shit like that. Yeah, it just NFL teams look at things so differently. Even with like the Dalvin Cook rumors, right? Like I was like, oh, he's going to the Jets. Like no one had heard of that. It was like, oh, it's got to be Miami. It's got to be Miami. And then you just hear a random team like the Jets. Like, why the fuck would that ever happen? You know? And that happens with signings all the time. Where it's like everyone has rumors of these guys, and all of a sudden it's like this guy just signed a 4-year, $48 million deal with like this team that you didn't hear a fucking lick about, you know?
Right.
Those conversations happen.
There's Jeff Wilson.
There we go. Will Steen.
Oh, they weren't listening about Lenny.
Who was the other one you mentioned?
Kareem.
Oh, Kareem Hunt. I don't know.
Yeah, where's he gonna go? Like, I feel like the Cleveland should have just fucking resigned him. Probably.
I've actually heard rumors that. So Kareem Hunt was mad last year. He wanted more money, didn't get it. But like, dude, look at what happened in this market. No one's getting money. So now I heard there's a chance that they end up bringing him back on a very cheap deal.
That makes sense to me. That's like it's like you look at Cleveland's offense. What do they need? They need a secondary pass catching running back. Kareem Hunt, it just fits.
Yep.
That's why I really feel like Zeke. I think there's a good chance Zeke ends up back in Dallas because just from a common sense standpoint, what does that offense need? A guy like Zeke.
That would be interesting to see that happen too. He got such a good deal. CJ Stroud, I don't like it. All right, what do you think here, Nick? Talk to us, man.
All right, so we're getting down here.
Tight ends, right?
Yeah, I think we did go like pretty running back heavy. Where I think a lot of people do 5 running back builds, and we ended up taking 6. So we're gonna be lacking. They called us slack. We got 7 wide receivers, 1 tight end right now. If there's a wide receiver that we kind of like, I'm cool grabbing him as our 8th. Otherwise, I'm also cool doubling down on tight ends. There's Gesicki, Hurst, Luke Musgrave, Trey McBride, Jelani Woods.
Oh, I love McBride, actually.
I'm in on McBride too.
I think
Fant, Henry.
I'm good on McBride, and then you know what's crazy in best ball? So we have a spike week consistency chart that we run on South Harmon. It's based on best ball. Noah Fant in spike weeks and consistency weeks last year, where do you think he would stack at the tight end position?
For which?
It's a combination of the two. So it's measuring spike weeks and consistency weeks for best ball. Because spike weeks win you one, but consistency makes your team have
so what's like
floor.
the total like what's the number? I guess we're
1.33 for a spike week and 1 for a consistent week.
So we're looking at like how many weeks did he have between 8 and 10 points, and how many weeks did he have between fucking 12 and 17 or whatever?
You got to be a top 3 tight end to spike, and you got to be a top 8 to be consistent.
Okay, so Noah Fant.
So here, what do we got here, by the way?
We took Trey.
Okay, sweet.
You see how good I'm utilizing the queue?
I love it.
It took me like 6 years to really understand how to do that during live streams.
I love it.
I don't know. The way you're like phrasing it makes me seem like whatever I say I'm going to be surprised by. But Noah Fant, I feel like finished with like fucking 400 yards or something last year. So
it was his worst season by far. We can all agree. Yeah. Most disappointing, right?
Yeah.
Tight end 11 in spike week consistency weeks last year.
Really?
Yep. Because when he did actually play well, which was not often because they're using 3 tight ends, but he only had 3 or 4 weeks usable. But in best ball this late, that's what you care about.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I'm just saying relative to the guys you're mentioning, I don't know.
For sure.
I don't know if there's anything else. If there's a receiver that we want to take instead, I think.
Tight ends are empty.
I've been doing like way too much like Trey McBride, Michael Wilson stacks in Arizona, which is disgusting. There's like a lot of New York Giants, Terrace Marshall, McCole Hardman, Chase Claypool, Josh Downs, Marvin Jones, Allen Robinson. There's guys like that. I kind
of like Chase.
I'm not against it, but I do think
Chase Claypool?
Our tight ends are so weak that I think we got to grab a third one.
That's fine.
Who's left?
Fant, Henry, Ertz, Logan Thomas, Cade Otton, Luke Schoonmaker. Yeah, it's gross. We'll take Fant there.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, that's the team. I'll read it off to you guys because I don't know if you could see it.
Let's run it. What do we got, Nicholas?
All right. So starting from round 1, we got AJB, Jonathan Taylor, Amari Cooper, Christian Watson, J.K. Dobbins, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Swift, Brandon Cooks, Alvin Kamara, Cortland Sutton, Russ, Kendre Miller, DPJ, Everett, Zeke, Hyatt, Trey McBride, Noah Fant. So we ended up being able to stack Watson with Cooper and DPJ, and we got to stack Russ with, I think, just Cortland Sutton, right?
Yeah, we didn't get Patrick.
All right, cool. We were obviously weakest at tight end with Everett, McBride, and Fant, which I don't really hate. We went pretty running back heavy, and one of the duos that we got was Kamara and Kendre, which I think could either be awesome or terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of what you're shooting for here, some uniqueness. I like the team overall. I don't think we missed on many picks.
I like it too. I think let me ask you on that, because in a tournament like this, you want high upside and to be unique. How many running backs do you typically draft in the best ball for you?
I usually settle in at like the 5 spot.
Okay.
I'll usually go 5, then go like heavy on receivers because you start 3 wide receivers.
Yep.
The other reason I will just throw this in here too, that I typically like to go 3 tight ends over 2 quarterbacks, because there's a flex in this as well. And obviously you can't use the QB at flex. And
true.
Let's just say like Noah Fant has his like 4 for 113 and 2 touchdown game. You know, that might end up being your flex guy.
Correct.
So the chances are minimal, but you still can squeeze a little bit extra juice there.
The one thing about the running backs I like at 6 is, like, I wonder how many of these teams drafted 4 or 5, because what happens is
all probably did.
Because guess what will happen, and you want to be unique. There's going to be a ton of attrition at running back. We know that happens, and there's no waivers. So there's going to be teams that are in the playoffs with like 2 running backs or 1 running back. So obviously, if you have your 6 running backs and 4 or 5 of them get hurt, you're SOL. Yeah. But if you have a bunch of healthy backs, that could totally be the difference for you late.
Yep. If we look at like, all right,
might have jumped to a B+.
Team 1 had 5 running backs. Team 2 took 5 running backs. Yeah. You know what happens? Because like Underdog has been running their tournaments for a few years now. So what happens is like when Best Ball Mania 1 happened, right? Everyone looked at the winning roster and said, this is, you know, we have a sample size of 1, right? So we need to build the winning roster of year 1 did it with 4 running backs on the roster. So everybody drafted 4 running backs going into year 2. Year 2's winning roster had 5 running backs. So everyone was like, okay, you know what? I feel more comfortable with 5 running backs now. And because the sample sizes are small, we only have a sample of, I think, 3 Best Ball Mania winners overall. People just look at those and say, like, that's the correct build for it, where it's way more based on the player you drafted in the 7th, like whoever had like Hurts and Josh, whoever had the stack of Jalen Hurts in round 6, Josh Jacobs round 7. It didn't matter if you grabbed fucking 9 running backs in that league. You probably
coincidental.
Right.
You had to hit the right one.
Right. So we don't have a big enough sample size to really know what the right thing is. The guys at Underdog though, like Hayden and Josh, do a lot of like really cool in-depth work on advance rates by position and stuff like that. So if you don't follow Hayden Winks and Josh Norris on Twitter, I would suggest doing that. They tweet out a lot of cool graphs for it. But I still think it almost goes back to the overall theme of like NFL in general, why fantasy is so fucking difficult to predict. It's such a small sample size. And one guy trips on the field, there goes 80 yards off his stats, and everyone's like, oh, his yards per carry is not good. You know, it's just it's shit like that happens, and it's just the makeup of the team, you know?
Yep.
Like if in round 18, instead of Noah Fant, we ended up taking I don't know who had like a big like random 3 weeks at the end of the year last year. I don't know who it was off the top of my head, but like
Jerick McKinnon.
Sure, yeah, we took Jerick McKinnon in round 18 last year instead of Noah Fant, and our build ended up being 6 running backs. Like it's not 6 running backs didn't win it for us necessarily. It's the fact that we took Jerick McKinnon as the 6th running back.
I definitely agree. It's obviously about hitting, but from a strategic standpoint, you give yourself more shots with the attrition at the position.
That's fair.
Now, it could totally backfire because if you don't pick the right ones and you take 6, you have no chance at all.
Yep.
But here, you want to shoot for the moon.
I don't think we'll ever find out the answer to it. Honestly, we'll just keep doing this shit.
Well, we will because
we'll win. Yeah.
Well, he and I won't because we get none of the money. But
correct. You're learning. Yeah, I mean that's better than best ball mania.
We're unique in the quarterback stack. Like we took 2 quarterbacks. A lot of people are probably avoiding just because of last year.
Hate right now. They hate
last year only. These are the 2 scariest quarterbacks to take, and we
sucks.
took both of them.
It's like we took the quarterback that everyone was avoiding 25 spots higher than you know. It's gross, but that's the way these fucking things work out. And like Tua goes 2 rounds lower, and to be honest with you, I don't think Tua's upside is like that much lower than Deshaun Watson's with the offense that he has and the weapons that he has there. So I don't know. I've never been like a tournament guy as it relates to fantasy football. Like it's a reason I don't play like dynasty best ball is because I think we've built most of our brand around the fact that like engagement, season long, like playing with your friends is kind of like the energy we're trying to give off within our brand, right? And that's always been that's the reason I got into fantasy. It was like our first big league was in high school and shit. So like doing stuff for money feels like I'm not playing fantasy anymore. I'm like building a portfolio.
Yeah.
But I've actually been like more open to it because it's a little bit more freeing. You don't actually have to manage the stuff throughout the year with the content and stuff. So I've been more interested in just like tournament style games this offseason.
That's what's really nice about best ball. Now, in this league, it's immediately hands off. There's nothing to do in Underdog. Now, one thing that I think people do mistake in Dynasty is now I've drafted my team, I have my roster. You need to pay attention to the waiver wire like crazy. You need to work on trades because what you don't want to have in best ball and Dynasty, just similar to Underdog, when you have attrition here, now you can't change it, but if you only have 12 guys going and you have 18 spots, all those guys are zeros. They can't do anything. In best ball, Dynasty, if you have, let's say,
How big are the rosters?
So you can do it however you want. Typically, I've seen 25 as the shallowest.
So it's like normal dynasty.
Mike and I like to run crazy ones like 30, 35 because it keeps the waiver wire
I
dry.
think like regular dynasty rosters are like perfect at 30, especially if you do like start 10 or whatever.
Exactly. Start 10, start 11 with 30-man rosters is probably the most common in best ball. But the mistake people will make is if you have, let's say, more than 5 guys that literally don't have a shot at the field, those are zeros in your lineup.
Yeah.
So you'll roster, let's say, like tight end sleepers you have down the road, but those are zeros. You're better off using someone on the wire that's getting 50% opportunity that might hit a touchdown.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I draft in basketball too. If like I'm getting to the last round, it's like cool to shoot for upside, but at the same time I'm like Hayden Hurst is a dude that like no one likes. He doesn't really have a lot of upside, but he's gonna be on the field for like 75 to 80% of the snaps, right? Like he's gonna put up 6 games of 4 for 40 and maybe score a touchdown in half of those, and like that you're going to use those in baseball.
And especially when we draft like later, like we did, you're literally looking for a guy to fall in the end zone, and you want to have more shots at those.
Yep. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here. We're almost at an hour, and probably like 14 minutes of that was good audio, so we apologize for that. But we finished strong. It's not how you start; it's how you finish. Make sure you are following my friend Adam over here. We will link all that stuff in the description of the video. Make sure you're following Jameson as well. Thank you guys for joining the stream today.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you having me on.
If you guys have not checked out Underdog yet, if you have not been on the platform, the link to download it will be the first link, I think, down in the description. Use promo code BDGE if you're throwing money down on there, and we'll double it for you. Join the Discord, absolutely free, of course, and that is where we drop the links to draft with us. We're usually streaming every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, so just keep your eyes peeled for it. We love you. Thanks for hanging out. We're out of here. One more yell for us, Jameson.
Check.
Let me hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.